Hey girl, I don't know what's happening, but I don't see you
Okay.
and I don't know where you are.
So you can close the support launch tab. You are connected on the session. You can close our support launch tab.
Okay, try to go in again because I just started it again.
Yes, you are already in the live session now, and everyone will be able to hear you. You can close our support launch tab and connect back for any further assistance. Just close this tab.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Welcome to our Every Single Steps virtual summit. I am your host, Charmaine. Can't hear you.
And
Can't.
I'm your co-host, Ernie Wright. It's a privilege to be on with all of you here. It's an exciting moment. We've long waited for this, and we really are in for a treat. And I'm so honored to be uh, beside the wonderful and excellent program presenter and planner, the uh, illustrious Charmaine Shuttlesworth. Nice to have you.
Thank you, Ernie. How are you doing?
Well,
As
I'm
you,
doing pretty well. I had a decent sleep, although I was just, a little nervous about coming on today. And we're in for a great day. We've had a few little challenges I could see, but I'm sure that the wait was worth it. So I hope everybody is ready to go. Ready to go. Yeah.
all right, thank you so much for joining me. I'm glad that you accepted the offer to co-host with me. And as you said, we are going to have a treat. And I know that many of you guys, many of the all of the presenters who have agreed to come on as well, are getting ready.
I, I'm thinking, Charmaine, that maybe somebody may want to wonder why every single step. I think it's a wonderful uh, line, a wonderful thought, and a wonderful reality about what every single step can do. Uh, I know that's your inspiration. Maybe you may want to share that with us a little bit.
Okay, so every single step was inspired from the book that I published, and so I thought that it would be a good thing to, get that out there, that and to really focus on what it truly means. And what I'd like for you to understand by the end of this summit is that a journey of 1,000 miles begin with a single step. So no matter what you're doing, big or small, it starts with one step at a time, one single step. So this is a proverb, a Chinese proverb. I must give credit. It expresses a deep insight and determination to to put your focus on whatever it is that you're going to do. Start with one single step first. And this is not only for a long journey, but also for a short one. And so in this summit, I'm not referring only to actual journeys or trips, but I'm also referring to goals, tasks, and actions. I'm referring to everything that is required to take the first step. And of course, once you take that first step, all the other steps will follow. A simple action such as drinking water from the tap or from a glass requires that you walk to the kitchen, open the tap, and fill the glass with water. So, if taking the first step is essential for such a simple act of filling a glass with water, it is of vital importance for achieving any goal, big or small. All right.
Yeah, beautiful. I like that. Beautiful. So it would seem to me that as we take a step, each step that we take accumulates. So it's accumulative, and taking that step daily or hourly or minutely can reap a harvest in a windfall of success. So I know that as we take that little step, it may seem insignificant when we take that one little step. I know you know how that is, but
Yes.
as you take one and then take another one, the journey of 1,000 miles becomes less. It just took that initial step to start it off, and just things will snowball if you are diligent and persistent. You and even consistent, you will get to the acme of success, like a soaring eagle. You'll get to the pinnacle of success. So I think this book is a real inspiration. I'm so happy you wrote the book. It's helped me, and I'm sure will help many others. And we will get there. We want to be successful. And I believe this summit provides a launching pad for success as we listen to those who have been there and are in it right now. We can eventually learn from them, take some notes down, and learn to get how to get to where we want to get to and ultimately be successful. So thank you so much, Charmaine, for having us here today. I am blessed and I'm excited.
Thank you so much. All right. So we do have a lineup this evening. And I do apologize for the late start. A few of us have been on for a while because we were having some technicals. And as you know, technology has a mind of its own, and we try to control it as much as possible, but we can't actually do so. Um, so let me see now. Our first, let's see, I have. So we were supposed to have Dr. Spence. He was on earlier. I'm not sure what happened there. But we're going to jump right
We have
ahead.
Thomas Ife is here.
We have Iffy Thomas. I hope we are pronouncing your name correctly.
She will
Um,
correct us, I'm sure.
but let me go ahead and introduce Iffy. She's an author and a speaker. She writes about and talks about how to build confidence and self esteem. And I've listened to her multiple times, and she's absolutely amazing. She's infectious, and she's fascinated with human potential and the theory relating to a positive mindset. She has lived a jam packed professional career, and she's now the new owner of a company called Mind Workout. Her first book and audiobook is titled Power Lift Your Career. And so, everything you need to succeed is what she's going to talk to us about. Like I said, she is a public speaker in the areas of business, sales, marketing, personal development, and autism. All right, she's been invited to come on and join us today, and we just want to welcome her. And just a few house rules: when you hear one of our speakers, go ahead and give them some love, send them some emojis. All right, so now we'll have you, Iffy Thomas. Go right ahead.
There she is.
There you are.
Hello, can you see me? Can you hear me? This is my first time on this platform. Yes, I get a thumbs up. Well, thank you so much for having me here today. It's a real pleasure to be here and to be able to speak to you all. So I'm going to be talking today about how you can use your story on social media, how you can show up on social media. This is a great opportunity, and I want to say thank you so much for inviting me here, Charmaine. This is a great topic that I'd love to talk about. So ultimately, when we look at going online, there are a lot of coaches and entrepreneurs and individuals that are afraid, just afraid to get online, afraid to show up, worried what people might say, have this fear that someone might say something negative about them, or don't know how to show up and maybe don't want to share too much. There's so many things that hold many people back, and it can paralyze you because you can overanalyze things and worry, and then it can stop you from getting out there. Where I believe every single person has a story, has a message, has something that you've been through in your life that you could bring to the table and show up and share with others. And it's all about stopping the scroll. So if we think about social media, the goal really is to become a content creator. I know there's the content creators, and there's also the spectators, the people that are scrolling and watching, and we've all been that at times, but I really help entrepreneurs and coaches to be able to master social media in a way that you're able to leverage your brand, leverage your business. We not only work with entrepreneurs and coaches, we work with charities as well. Charities that are doing incredible things that are having a huge impact, and they need support with fundraising. So we actually write their stories and help them to get on video and help them to communicate their message really well. So when you think about social media, I created something which is the power of the post. So there's things that we can look at to help you have some guidelines that when you are posting on social media, that you actually are able to follow these things called power. The word power, I've broken it down into some acronyms, and I'd love to share that with you. But before I do, I'd love to, because right now I'm looking at myself. This is my first time on this platform. Are we able to bring the other videos up? Am I going to be having a conversation with Charmaine? Yeah, that's cool. And it'll allow me to just adjust my camera, because there we go. Lovely. So did you want to ask me some questions? How are we doing this?
So we'll wait until you just tell us everything that you've planned, and then we'll ask the questions after. How about that?
Yeah, brilliant. Okay then. So first of all, can I just get a raise of hands, thumbs up? Is social media something that you are interested in becoming better at? Is it something that you are passionate about? I just want to know how many people here are listening and who really want to. We've got some thumbs. Thank you so much, because some of the things that I say with my clients, we get thumbs and hearts. Thank you. Is that if you're saying to yourself, I don't like social media, I don't like it, it's icky, it's not for me, then I say, well, then don't do it. Because if your energy is, I don't like this, then what happens is that every time you communicate on the app, every time you post anything, the vibrational energy from you to the post will be felt by everyone else. So first of all, if you're going to do it, you have to want to. You have to want to show up on social media. You have to understand the power that social media has to help you build your brand, build your business, and impact the people that you want. So first of all, before I go through the five, the POWER, the 5 things, the power of the post, which you can take with you, is I want you to just take the minute to think about who your ideal customer is. The work that we do at Mind Workout Media, I have a team, there's 9 of us in the team, and you meet with us, we interview you, and we are searching for the story. Once we've figured out the story, our script writers write the story for you. And once we've written the story for you, we coach you and train you. We have stylists and performance coaches, and we have a video team and a vocal coach. And we have the whole team that help you get on video and share your story before you post it. Now, one of the things that you must do is, before you even think about going on video, you think about posting a static image. Before you think about showing up on social media, you have to ask yourself, who is my ideal customer? Who am I talking to? Who are the people that really need to hear what I'm sharing? And you have to take a minute to think about it, because there's a lady called Marie Forleo who I did her course in 2014, and it was a game changer for me. She helped me move into the online space. So I've only been actually online, actively online, since 2014. Before that, I came from a background where I was a dancer, so I started my career as a dancer, a professional dancer, traveling around the world, performing on stages with all sorts of artists, on X Factor, on national television, seen by millions, singing and performing in huge arenas like Wembley Arena and O2 Arena with hundreds of thousands of people. So I'm used to being on stage, I'm used to showing up, I'm used to performing, and that was what I did. That was my main job. But when I left the world of entertainment, I moved into the space of corporate finance. So I got rid of those sparkly hot pants. I had these high-waisted sparkly hot pants. They were my favorite. I'd wear them for every audition. And I decided to put them away, and I decided to hang up my dancing shoes, and I decided to actually put on a grey suit. I decided to move into the world of corporate finance. So entertainment to corporate finance. So I went from one world to another world. And when I went in that world, I had to figure out how to move through that world. So I built a business called the National Accountancy Network, which was a network of chartered accountants. And when I was building this business, I was following a very set formula, a kind of bricks and mortar formula, because during my time as a dancer, I'd worked for a number of organizations doing sales and marketing, and found that I was pretty good at it because it was very scripted. And because I was a performer, I was used to just reading a script, detached from it. I wasn't afraid of hearing no. So I became very good to the point where I got headhunted by different organizations while I was performing. And I was like, no, 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 no. When I did hang up my shoes, I went and worked for a company and thought, well, I could do this myself. I'm doing most of the work. I'm generating most of the leads. I'm doing all the face-to-face stuff. Maybe I should own. So in 2010, I decided, end of 2010, I decided I'm gonna do this for myself. So from my living room, I decided to set up a website, and I decided to create National Accountancy Network, and it was just me. And then I took on one member of staff. And then before I knew it, in 18 months, we had grown. We had turned over £150,000 in 18 months. I'd moved to an office and I'd took on 6 members of staff, and we were growing rapidly because it was just growing and growing. And the main concept of the work that we did was I had an office, we had database, printed databases, and we had VoIP phones and a Cisco network set up, and we'd have tables all together, and it was like a call center, and that my staff would pick up the phone and call people and dial, and then they would deliver a sales presentation, would overcome objections, and that's what the business was made out of, picking up the phone. So, and it worked. So when the online world space came to me, I was I don't want to do that. I don't think that works. I was very closed-minded. I was like, no, no, no. Pick up the phone, speak to somebody. Pick up the phone, speak to somebody. So I did that for another couple of years until it became more and more difficult to book really good quality leads. And then I came across this advert somewhere, a lady called Marie Forleo. Does any of you know Marie Forleo? Any of you give me a thumbs up if you do? Well, Marie Forleo started her career as a dancer, as a Nike dancer, and she's built an incredible business called B School. So I signed up to this B School, and it was a big investment for me, but that's when I started to discover the online world and how you can build a business online. So I followed her process, her 8-week program, and I implemented. I wrote a book. She asked you to decide on one thing you want to do, and I said I want to write a book. See where it is. Oh, I haven't got the book here. It's in the car. I wrote a book called Powerlift Your Career, and built an online course, and had people sign up to my membership. And the membership was called I Hate My Job But Can't Leave Right Now. That's what the membership was. People joined a 12-month program with me. Every month they got a module, which then became a chapter, which then became my book Powerlift Your Career. So 2017, I had published my book Powerlift Your Career. And why I tell you this is because the one thing that really resonated and stuck out for me, which was an aha moment with Marie Forleo, was you have to decide who your ideal customer avatar is. Now, your ideal customer avatar is the person that you're talking to. She says, if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. And that was a really interesting concept to think about at the time, that I had to really narrow down and niche down into who I wanted to speak to. So at the time, my ideal customer avatar was very different to who it is today. And I really doubled down on that avatar. So if you're listening today and you're thinking about, how do I start posting? How do I start showing up on social media? First thing is to ask yourself, who is your ideal customer avatar? Now, your ideal customer avatar is the person that you really want to reach. Now, don't say, oh, it's everybody. You have to be really specific and strict with yourself, and decide on whether it's a man or a woman, decide exactly how old they are, even down to the kind of car they drive and how many children they have and what their children's names are. I mean, you go really granular with this exercise, because what it does is it narrows down who you're speaking to, which means you have the opportunity then to do the work, the psychology. So every single ideal customer avatar is a real life human being that exists. And your job is to be able to step into their shoes, be able to experience life through their eyes, be able to know what their hopes are, what their dreams are, what keeps them awake at night. You want to be able to know your ideal customer like you know yourself. So you know, oh, I know that they would, what coffee order they'd order. And you might be thinking, well, this is a lot of work. But if you do the work at the beginning of knowing who you're talking to, what it does is it frees you when you're posting on social media, because you've made a real clear decision on who you're talking to, which means you know what content and what messaging that you are delivering. You know exactly the kind of thing that you say, the kind of post that you post, the captions that you write. You have a real idea of what you sound like. And when we talk about copy, meaning copywriting, the writing that supports your post, the captions, some people say that they spend hours making an Instagram post. I make an Instagram post in about 3 minutes. I make a decision and then I post it and then I write the copy. And I do it. I can make a post right now in front of you and post it and be very confident with it because I know who I'm speaking to. I know what my style is. I know how I speak. I know how I write. I'm very confident in what I'm posting is going to benefit somebody, and I understand the formula. So during my time with you, I'd like to go through a formula to help you post. This is bearing in mind that you know who your ideal customer is. If you don't know who it is, then right now, just quickly for this exercise, just decide to yourself, is it a man or a woman? How old are they? What are their biggest pains? What are their biggest problems? What are their biggest hopes and dreams? Have a quick idea of who they are. And then once you've decided, and if you are somebody that is speaking to children, your ideal customer avatar is usually the parents, because it's the parents that are going to buy from you. So that's the first thing, your ideal customer avatar. The second thing that I want you to think about before we start to go on to the lesson of the power of the post, the second thing I want you to think about is, what is your call to action? Now, so many people that we work with, when we're working on their brand story, don't know what their call to action is. They're like, I've got a really great story, it's emotional, it's compelling, it's amazing. And I'm like, yeah, but why are you sharing the story? Who do you want to serve? What is the goal? Once someone's heard your emotionally engaging, compelling story that makes them feel like they see themselves in your story, what do you want them to do? That's the question we ask. What do you want them to do? And then sometimes they're like, I don't know. I'm like, do you want them to book a call with you? Do you want them to become a one-to-one client? Do you want them to become part of a membership? Do you want them to download your book? Do you want them to book a ticket to come to an event? What is it that you want them to do? Because what you want people to do is very much going to determine what you post. Because the story that you share, the post that you post, the messaging that you have, it all connects to where you're landing your plane. So I could talk about this all day. I'd need 10 hours to go through things in depth. But if any of you are thinking, oh, actually, this sounds really good, then Charmaine will tell you how you can get hold of me, because Mind Workout Media, that's what we do. We dedicate our time to helping you carve out your story so that you can post confidently lots of parts of your story in pictures and videos. But to go on with the power of the post, the first thing that you have to do when you think about the power of the post is the letter P. Now, the letter P is about persona. It's your personality and your persona. So when people think of you, what do they think? Do they think, oh, there's a post from that person, it's going to be depressing, or, oh, this post is going to really cheer me up, or, oh, this post is going to be really educational, this post is going to be very informative, this post is going to be a news breaker, this is going to be funny. You know, what do people think? What is your persona? Now, my persona that I worked with a brand strategist in 2020, I worked with a brand strategist to help me decide how I wanted to show up to the world, because like many of us, we've got lots of different hats. When Charmaine was reading out what I do, there's so many different hats and layers to each of us. We've got, if we're an entrepreneur, we're probably able to dibble and dabble in all different areas. So I had to really define what my brand is. And yeah, right now I've got curly kind of golden hair, but my brand is was pink hair, and I will be going back to it. I'm just having a break. But cool, black and confident. That's kind of what my persona is. So when I do anything, I want to do it cool, I want to do it confident, and clearly I'm a black girl. So I want to create that kind of black magic, black joy, that great feeling. So any post I do, I'm asking myself, is it going to create joy? Is it representing me? Is it creating the persona that I want? Is my personality aligned? And I'm making the decision, does this represent my persona? So the first letter in power is P, and that's persona. So when you're creating a post, say, does this show my personality and my persona? Does this showcase me in my best light? If someone was to jump on my page for the first time, would they get a sense of who I really am? So that's the first thing you do. O, originality. Do something that's original. Try your very best not to just do something that you've seen somebody else do. Do something that's really original. And when I say original, so people don't know what to expect. I saw this great post by a lady called Molly Dare. I don't know if you know her. And it was such a great post. It was basically a picture of her with her hand in her head on a table, a huge brown table, with her holding this, and coffee's drop. I think coffee was dropping or spilling. And she said, you know, what a day I've had. And I was like, that's so brilliant, because the picture told a story. It was such a great post. So that was original, truly original post. There's another lady that I've seen on social media. I can't remember her name, but she does stuff. Her brand is all around body image. She's a beautiful girl with an incredible body, and she does pictures where one picture she's got she's really like toned and looking amazing. The other side, she shows her with relaxed belly and cellular light and what she really looks like, and she's promoting body conscious and body positivity, and she's promoting, do you know what, guys, this is how I look in my photo shoot, but this is what I really look, what you can't see. This is how I'm like hoiking up my bottom, and how I'm holding my stomach in, and how I've pulled my pants up so high that it gives that six-pack look. And she really does show. Now, they're original posts. So you've got P persona, O for originality. And then we've got W, which is want to. Now, this is want to save, want to share, want to comment. The W has to be a want to. So people see the post and they want to comment, like, share, or save. Now, if somebody likes it, that's a good point. If someone comments, that's another point. If someone shares it, that's another point. If someone saves it, woohoo! It tells the algorithm, this is a great post. Let's show more people this. Let's show more people this post. So that's really good. So you can do that. So you've got P for persona, O for originality, W want to share, want to like, want to comment, want to engage. So then that leads me to the E. E is engagement. When you're writing your post, you want to make sure that it engages people. So I did a post, and this is something that I had to learn, because, a lot of the content that I create is long form content, long form videos. And I'd be sharing like these long speeches or these long, really great videos, and people would be like, that's good. And there wouldn't be room for them to engage with me, because I didn't really ask them an engaging question. So I did a post, which I found to be super engaging, where I think I was like dancing to a song, and I said, this is my favorite song. If you were to create your own playlist, what song would you have to have on your playlist? And then everyone was commenting their favorite songs. And then what I did was I took everyone's favorite songs and then made a playlist, because all their songs I loved. So, and everyone was loving it because they were sharing, and other people were like, I love that song. Oh, and then I did an Instagram live where I played through my speakers at home their songs. So then that kind of, and the call to action, there wasn't a call to action on this, except for just to have, wait a minute, was there? Yeah, there was a call to action. I was thinking, was there? The call to action was, oh my gosh, it was such a long time ago. It was like a year ago. The call to action was, it was such a good call to action. Right, so the call to action was for in life, so you can control your own emotions and manage your own emotion, create a list of 5 songs that make you feel good, and have a list of 5 songs that make you cry. And my goal was that you put these together so that you know when you need to pick me up what song to play, and if you need to like let out some emotion, what song to play. And the goal was to helping people to take control of how they manage their emotions. So the call to action was, make sure that you pick your favorite songs that build you up, and then bring the favorite songs that help you release any trapped trauma. So yeah, there was a call to action there anyway. So it was so good that I forgot that there was a call to action. So that's the E, engagement. And then the last letter in the word power is make sure that it's remarkable. Has to be remarkable. And when I think about remarkable and marketing, there's an incredible guy called Seth Godin, and he wrote the book Tribes, and he does a lot of TED Talks, and he has, I don't know if it's still now, but I know maybe 6-7 years ago, he had the #1 blog in the world, and he used to just write 2 sentences on his blogs. He's like a marketing genius, guru, in fact. And one of the things that Seth Godin does, he has a talk, and he talks about the purple cow. And he says how when you're driving along, if you see some cows in the field, you're like, But if there's a purple cow in the field, you're like, oh my gosh, there's a purple cow. And the reason why you go, wow, there's a purple cow, because you've never seen one before. And because you've never seen one before, it's remarkable. So the letter R is make it remarkable. Make it so remarkable that people are like, wow. And I would give a slash with this one, and relatable. so that people can relate to it. You know, you don't want to alienate people with your posts, so they're like, oh, what they're talking about. It has to be relatable. So just to cover those 5 from the power of post, and if anyone wants it, I actually have a link I can put where you can download. You can put your email in, and you can download the PDF that shows you this. But the power of the post is P persona, O originality, W want to share, want to comment, E engage, and R make sure it's remarkable and relatable. So there's a little masterclass on how you can post on social media. I hope that served any of you, and if you have any questions, then please do come to me, and I'd love to answer them.
Awesome. What an amazing presentation. Thank you so much, Iffy. Is it Iffy or?
Yeah, it's Iffy.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I enjoyed your post. I've listened to you so many times. And I know that we started late, so I do have one question for you. But what do you think, Ernie? What do you think the rest of you? Give her some thumbs up if you learned anything.
Yeah,
You want to work with her in the future or want to have questions for her.
yeah,
You pull her aside. We do have a reception area where we can go lounge if we can do that later on. But the one question I have, and a lot of people have, is for someone like me who is very shy, you may not believe this, but I'm very shy. And you don't have the background that you have where you acted in the past and you did a lot of stage performances. How do you get over the confidence part of things before you actually post? Because we often don't think about that when we post. But how do you get over that confidence issue?
Oh my gosh, Charmaine, what a great question. And you know, confidence is something that is, people wish they could buy it and drink it, confidence, you know. And I think some people think that confidence is something you're born with. I haven't always had this confidence, this unshakable confidence that's in me. It's something that I've worked at. It's like a gym. You can't just go to the gym once and get sick. You have to go several times over and over again. Confidence is like building through repetition. The more you put yourself out there, the more you step outside your comfort zone, the more you allow yourself to look silly, or you have to be vulnerable enough to put yourself out there. You know, if you go into my YouTube channel and go to my latest um, video, you'll see somebody whose eyes are going. I don't just
Okay. Your connection is pretty bad, but I thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule because I could hardly get you, and you know what I mean, to get you to come on today. So I thank you so much. And if you have some time, we're going to meet in the lounge. But right now, um, we're going to bring on Sienna Melissa, and she's a holistic wellness coach dedicated to uplifting communities of color across the world by inspiring and healing women in leadership. Her expertise includes yoga and spiritual healing, mindful eating for lasting wellness. So, Sienna, we're going to take you this time because I know you have to go, and thank you so much for joining us. Take it away. Are you there, Sienna? Okay. There you go.
Oh, oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, and welcome, and thank you for joining us. And
Yeah,
just get right into it. Thank you.
awesome. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm really excited to jump right in. I'm aware that there's a bunch of bosses in here, a bunch of leaders, a bunch of people that are kind of finding themselves in these positions where people are looking up to them. Is that correct? Am I right about this?
That is absolutely correct. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. Well, I think one of the most important things that for us to realize when we find ourselves in these leadership roles is that we have to lead ourselves before we lead anybody else. You know, the true power comes from being able to control yourself and being able to um, control the way you react and the way you respond in certain situations. So before we kind of jump into talking about all this, I want us to first stand up from your seat. I'm going to stand up from my seat too, just so I can lead by example. Stand up from your chair, move your chair to the side, and we're going to move around a little bit. Because the feeling of being in a position of power can bring all different types of anxieties. It can make you feel small even. It can make you feel like you're confined. There's this pressure. There's eyes on you. So let's get up wherever you are. You're watching this. Get up and move your body. I want you to twist from side to side. Reach your arms up over your head. Bring your arms back down. Whatever you need to do, take up space in the room around you. Even if it's not a lot of space, even if you don't have space to open your arms all the way like I'm doing, you can keep the elbows into your body and just do a little twist side to side. Maybe bring your hands up onto your head. Do a little rock to one side. Stretch through the sides of your body. And what we're doing right now is we're breathing some extra space into our body. That's extra space for us to cultivate this kind of a power from within, to cultivate this energy that it takes to be a leader, to be in this role. We're going to cultivate that from the inside. So standing up just a couple of moments longer, moving your body, breathing deeply. I'm going to come back into my seat now and invite you to do the same thing. And right away, as you're coming back into stillness, you're sitting down. I want you to notice how your body feels, and emotionally, how do you feel? Close your eyes, put your hands in your lap, palms face up, and just start to focus on how you feel on the inside. When you go from a place of stillness into a place of movement and then back, a lot of times that's when all of our feelings start to rush to the surface. Think about your feelings the same way you would think about the waves of the ocean kind of rushing forwards onto rocks or onto shore. At first, when there's stillness, you're not really noticing, but then everything kind of sloshes forwards and you can see the glitter and the water. You can see the spray, the splash, everything sort of comes to the surface. And that's what we can start to experience from within our bodies as well. So let's start by inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. I want you to imagine that you're filling yourself up completely every time you inhale. Like your skin is even stretching. You're getting bigger in your body because you're taking in so much air. And then exhale as fully and completely as possible. Allow yourself to get empty and feel that opposite feeling. Go from feeling completely full to completely empty over and over. Keep your attention focused just on the way that you feel in this moment. And allow yourself to sort of tap into how it feels to be in a leadership role. Maybe it feels bright and exciting. Maybe it feels warm and light, positive. But on the other hand, it could feel terrifying. It could feel scary. It could feel tight, pressure, darkness, negative. Allow yourself to take a moment here, staying with your breath, the deep and full inhales, the deep and full exhales, to just dive into whatever those feelings are. Allow those feelings to exist because they're there to tell you something. Maybe they're telling you it's time to take things to a new level. Maybe they're telling you it's time to slow down, pause for a moment, find gratitude for all that you've accomplished already. Be patient with yourself as you become aware of distractions, things going on in the room, your thoughts traveling to different places, or maybe it feels more like the thoughts are bombarding your mind. Just notice that that's happening. And then you make the decision, you choose how you respond to that distraction. And right now, I encourage you to choose to come right back onto your breath, your inhale and your exhale. come right back into cultivating that feeling. How does it feel to be standing in your shoes? Keep the eyes closed and continue to breathe. It's almost as though you're filtering through the air. You're inviting in whatever strength, whatever guidance that you need to help you in your journey, your leadership journey. And as you exhale, you're sending away all the doubts, you're sending away excuses, uncertainties, fears, anything that is holding you back. So absorbing all of the good, the positive, the strong, the courage. Exhaling the weaknesses, the fears, the blockages, and obstacles. Few more breaths, just the same. And start to let go of that breath. Flutter your eyes open whenever you're ready to. I need to take a moment and just understand, or not understand, but just, well, yeah, I guess understand is a good word to use, but I want you to take a moment and just think about how you feel right now. Let it sink in. Think about how we can literally use our breath and our own intention to filter out the energy that is already existing around us at all times. We always have the ability to do that. A lot of times people use their breath work or their meditation practices specifically to create relaxation or calm from within, which it absolutely does. But I think in this context, what we really need to do is become the fearless leaders that we need to be, that our communities need us to be. You know, you're not going to create fearlessness by just going out. And I'll use the Lion King example where he says, bravery doesn't mean that you go looking for trouble. You know, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean you just throw yourself into the fire. Instead, you have to become the bravery. You have to become courage and become strong. You cultivate those feelings from inside and by using your intention. So these are the kinds of things that I work with my clients through, is just setting an intention, choosing your goals very mindfully and with a lot of intention, you know, very purposefully. And from there, once you know what energy you want to cultivate for yourself, how you want to show up in the world, then you know where your work is. You know where to start. And that leads me into the first topic of the law of attraction. I'm sure many of you have heard of the law of attraction or have even taught the law of attraction to others, but a reminder is always nice that you don't actually attract anything. You know, we're not magnets. We're not calling things into ourselves. We're not pulling things that don't exist, pulling from places that don't exist, or asking things of people that they aren't capable of, for example. Instead, what we're doing is we are becoming the energy that we want to see. We're, what does that quote? Be the change that you wish to see in the world. That's what we're doing when you're attracting. So as a leader and in your roles as a leader, you need to be able to bring yourself forwards and just be the boss. You need to be in control. You need to be calm. You need to be level-headed, mentally clear and poised, right? So how do we cultivate those things for ourselves? How do we still show up even though there's so much craziness going on around us all the time? Situations are stressful and unpredictable. How do we attract the right kind of guidance that we need? We don't attract the guidance. You become the guidance. And I hope that this little brief meditation has given you a glimpse into how you can actually kind of manifest anything that you want for yourself. I know, again, this was a really short little session, but you don't attract the power that is needed to do and to move forward in your mission the way that you want to. You have to become it. You have to create it, and you create it from the inside out. So this leads me to my next topic of non-reaction, which when you find yourself in leadership roles, how many of you have found yourself in a position, and maybe this has happened to yourself, maybe this has happened to someone else, and you've seen another leader go through this where things are just crazy, happening really fast, stressful, high stress situations are going on, and one thing slips through the cracks, and you or whoever else is in charge has some outburst where it's like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Like, just totally upset, visibly upset, behaving badly, kind of having an outburst, a temper tantrum. um, I'm sure many of us can think of a time when this happened maybe to ourselves or when we witnessed this happen to somebody else. And it's really important that we can come into our meditations and come into our mindfulness practices, our wellness and spiritual wellness practices, so that we can create calm from within ourselves, no matter what the situation is, so that we can be in a high stress situation and we can still choose to respond thoughtfully. We can choose to respond mindfully and with humanity. That's one of the things that I believe is really missing for a lot of people is their humanity. We expect each other to perform at a certain level. We expect each other to be producing things at a certain level, and we put those expectations on ourselves. There's no like end all be all, like one governing body that tells us all this is how productive you should be at any at any given point in any given role. That's just not the case. And so as people like us who find ourselves in the roles where we're like, look, this is how you can do this, whatever it is, you're teaching somebody, you're coaching somebody, you're finding yourself in this role where people are looking to you for how do I respond in this situation? You have this really special opportunity to let people know, we move forward with authenticity. We move forward with humanity. We treat people like people. We move forward with compassion. And where does that come from? That comes from treating myself with compassion. The more I can put my best self forward, be my authentic self, the more I can treat myself like a human being, give myself the patience and the grace that I need, the more I can give myself permission to not be okay, permission to kind of break open and feel my feelings, the easier it becomes for me to extend that same grace to somebody else. And if I can show somebody how to do that, show somebody how I'm doing that for myself, then I can show them how to do that for their self too. So in that way, I stepped into my power, which was the power to guide others and the power to control myself and the power to control my own reactions. So going back into the topic of the importance of non-reaction, really, there's going to be tough situations all the time. And I mean, think about those times, going back to my previous example, when you or somebody else like totally blows up, and it could be something that wasn't even a big deal, and when the thing is, it wasn't that small instance. It wasn't because that one employee messed up or this mentee in your program didn't do their assignment. And, it's not that. That's not what's making us so upset. It's a culmination of us not taking care of ourselves, not feeling supported, not feeling loved and cared for because we didn't give ourselves the love. We didn't care for ourselves. It's up to us to do it. We're not going to feel support. There's not somebody that's going to just come and support us for no reason. We have to support ourselves and figure out ways to do that. And when you're coming from that place of like, oh, I've meditated today, I took my time this morning. I wasn't feeling well, so I allowed myself to sit on the patio and, let some tears come down and I wrote out some feelings, whatever it is. If you're taking the time to do that, then in those instances when things have been really stressful and, things are kind of piling up, getting busier and busier with work, it's easier to just sort of sit back and laugh and be like, wow, like this is kind of crazy. There's a lot going on. And okay, maybe let's all get together and talk about how we can move forward in the best way, because I don't feel overwhelmed by this, even though we have an abundance of things that need to be done. There's so too much on our plate, I'm not going to let that break me, because I already have this strong practice on my own that allows me to show up strong and allows me to just witness and see everything that's going on without getting under it, if that makes sense. I think it becomes really easy if we're not caring for ourselves well to kind of let ourselves feel down, or like that the saying feeling under the weather, for example. You kind of let something just like get you down. Instead, you really have to take the time, shift, stop what you're doing, get up, move around, sit back down, breathe, listen to yourself, send your attention into how you feel, and then you can use that same formula when it comes to problem solving in your work. Just, okay, this is overwhelming, this is not working. I'm gonna step away from this for a second. Let's all take a break. And reconvene. Everybody leave, go get some water, walk around the block, whatever, come back. We come back and it's like, okay, now that I feel a little bit more fresh, I hope you guys feel a little bit more fresh too. Now let's bring our fresh eyes to this situation. Let's talk about what we think are the hardest things, what is causing us the most difficulty in this situation, and how can we combat that together. It just comes from putting eyes on it, instead of just piling everything, piling and expecting that something's going to get done. No, instead we have to do the work that is taking care of ourselves so that we can handle everything else. So again, non-reaction mostly comes from caring for ourselves, giving ourselves the space to feel, so that we can just bring ourselves with more clarity and more peace and more understanding into any situation. That also leads me into the power of vulnerability. Like I've been saying, you really want to just take time to be with yourself. You make yourself more human and more real and more down to earth that way. And in doing that, you make the people that you work with more human as well. It's like if you change the lens through which you're seeing things, the things that you're seeing will also change, So if you're looking at things and you're like, oh, wow, this is so much, this is a high stress situation that I'm looking at, I encourage you to sort of think about that. Take pause and think, okay, maybe I'm looking at this through an overwhelmed lens. Maybe I need to take this off, clean it. Okay, wow, it's not so overwhelming anymore, And the process of doing that is by turning inward, turning to your breath, listening to yourself, blah, blah, blah. But I do think that, we have a tendency, it is not uncommon, I should say, for us to not treat each other well. And we're not treating each other badly on purpose. A lot of the times we do it on accident. But as leaders, everything that we do, people are going to see, and people are going to remember. They're going to remember the way that you made them feel more than anything. Even if they don't remember what you said, exactly how you worded it, but they know that it left a bad taste in their mouth. They know that they have less respect for you now because you didn't treat them like a human, but deep down, you're not treating them like a human because you're not treating yourself like a human. So it's really important that we can allow ourselves to make time to be vulnerable, make time for ourselves to feel like the human beings, just, the natural feeling people that we are. Where none of us are perfect, but all of us are perfect all at the same time. It took very, very specific conditions for us to all exist in our bodies and to present ourselves the way that we do, and to be here, living in these bodies and living in this earth in the way that we are. It took perfect conditions for this to be exactly how it is. And so, remembering that and remembering your own vulnerability will help you to remember the vulnerability of others. And when people feel seen by you in that way, it empowers them to go and see themselves too, and to give themselves the same type of patience and grace that I keep talking about. And again, these are things that I work with my clients through. It's just like, everybody wants to show up, and we want to be kind, and we want to support people, and we want to help others. We're the kind of people that we see someone suffering and we want to offer a helping hand, right? But we can't do that if we're not doing it for ourselves. It's not going to feel authentic. People can feel that energy. They may not know what it is, but they can feel if you're not being true, if you're not being authentic. It comes out, and so it creates distrust. And for all of these reasons, you gotta cultivate a deep relationship with yourself. Someone said, meditations open up new perspectives, and that's absolutely true. Um, I think it opens up new perspectives, but once you do reach that state of that new perspective, it also helps you to just maintain that perspective. Like, remember that we're all connected and that we're all humans. Remember that we're all light beings, we're all made of love, and that we all have the choice from moment to moment of how we respond. If you are not taking the time to practice listening to yourself and hearing your own feelings, and you're not taking that time, then you're going to lose sight very easily of our own connection and all that. So one last thing that I'll note before I hop off, I know we've only got a couple minutes left here. Navigating grief in public. Earlier this week, we saw a horrible tragedy, the shooting in Buffalo, New York. And people took to social media immediately and posting. I felt bombarded with the information, with the images of the people who were killed and the people who were impacted by this, and other people's grief just playing out on such a huge scale. It's overwhelming because it's tragic, it's painful and it hurts to watch. And so often people are like, oh, wow, well, that's not happening over here where I am, so I have to go back to work. Like, wow, that sucks, that's crazy, but I'm not going to let anyone see me cry at work because I'm not this weak person that cries at work. But instead, if we can be the person that showed up on our Instagram, showed up in front of people in real life, wherever we show up, and we let people know it's okay to be feeling not okay about this, because this is a very not okay situation that we're moving through. It's okay to have your feelings. And every time we allow ourselves to go into how we actually feel about something, we allow ourselves to not be okay, we allow ourselves to feel sadness and grief, we also give someone else permission to tap into that feeling. And it's so important that we all are able to tap in instead of piling these things up from within us, because they're making us sick from the inside out. And these are the kinds of people who would go out and massacre people in the first place. They're the people that don't have a place to put their feelings. They're the people that have no idea, they don't love themselves, they don't love anyone else, and they don't know how to they don't know how to move forward with the ways that they feel. They just feel bad because everything's too much. So I don't want that for us. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for me. I don't want that for anybody else that I love. We have to allow ourselves to break apart from time to time. And we become so much stronger when we learn how to put ourselves back together from these deeply broken and painful places. So if you are taking extra time off from work this week, if you're not showing up as much on live video or wherever you normally show up, it's okay. I'm here to tell you I didn't do anything on Sunday or Monday. Today, yesterday was Tuesday. I did some stuff yesterday, but really, like, it's okay to rest, and it's more than okay. It's important. It's very important, especially if you're leading others. You have to show people kind of how to be. I think we all lost sight of how to just be humans and just be ourselves, and so we have to keep doing it, even though it's hard. It feels, inconvenient sometimes. It's like, I don't have time for this, I don't have time to be feeling like this, I have so much stuff to do. But all the stuff that you have to do will be there later. So anyways, that's about all I've got time to share with you today. I hope that this resonated with someone and that you guys are feeling me on this message. And if you'd like to meditate with me, or if you're interested in more of my work, I post mostly on Instagram is where you can find me. I can add my little link in the comment for you, my LinkedIn as well, if you'd like to stay connected. Yeah, that's pretty much me. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to chat for a moment longer.
Well, go ahead, Ernie. Give her the juice. Your microphone is muted.
Oh, yeah, can you hear me at all? Yes, now I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
I just, without trying to make you feel more special than you already feel, I just wanted to let you know this was fascinating. And I'm serious. I never heard it packaged the way you'd package it. Packaging is crucial. I've heard
Yeah.
stuff similar, but not packaged as well as you have. And I want to let you know that I took copious notes. And
Good.
I really like some things you said. I just want to mention the creating stuff from inside out. That's
Hmm.
the main way that you can be effective in being an authentic person. And then I also liked the, the importance of non, reaction, which is so hard. It's hard not to react. It's harder not to react than to react, if I may say so.
Yeah.
You like that one, right? It's more work trying not to react when somebody really, hits you hard verbally or otherwise, and your reflex is to really get back at them and see if you can tell them about their mama, so to
Yeah.
speak. Yes. But to restrain yourself is an amazing thing, and I really like that. And then maybe I could say one of the other things that I should highlight is the fact that you have to really take care of yourself first before you can take
Hmm.
care of somebody else. And if you try taking care of somebody else before you take care of yourself, they can find out that you're not authentic. You're a fraud. You're faking it. You're telling me to do all this and you ain't doing it yourself.
Yep.
So I'm thrilled. I could go on and on, but I'm going to stop. But I just wanted to know that I was listening. I wasn't just saying, "Oh, you're good." I listened. I wrote, and I am fascinated. We have to get her back on some forum very soon. She's amazing, amazing.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
it's amazing. Thank you so much, Sienna, for coming on. I know
Yeah.
that I invited you at short notice, and
It's all right.
truthfully, someone else had called out because they got sick, and so
No
you
worries.
came through for us. And
Amazing.
Ernie had said almost everything that I wanted to say. That's
I'm
really,
sorry. I apologize for being so
that's
comprehensive, but
that's
yeah.
all right. But I'm going to give anybody else who has listened this opportunity, this moment to ask any question or to point out something that they learned from what you just
Hmm.
presented to us. All right, anybody, and I know that you did not fall on deaf ears or
Yeah.
just
Is there audio? Um, okay. Can we hear them, or do they have to put in chat? I don't know.
if you
You're the
want
boss. She
to.
has the controls, So
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a little Wheel of Fortune real quick. Do you have time? Just a little bit more time, Sienna?
I could give you 5 more minutes.
yeah, she's
All
very
right.
kind.
So thank you so much. All right, let me do a little Wheel of Fortune and bring up one person here. All right. Let's see. Random. How do you like that?
That sound, it's so funny.
Well,
Oh,
I was looking for Vanna White.
so we're removing we're
Where?
removing because she's not here. Let's try one more time. Oh, did it fall on Sienna herself?
Oh, that's so
that's
funny.
that's that's
That's
funny.
crazy. All right. There we go. All right. I'm going to bring up Brianna. So, Brianna, let me see. I know she was here earlier. There she is. Going to add, if you just have some one little something or one question, one
Observation, maybe.
observation that you may have picked up from her presentation, let's just hear it. And after Sienna leaves, we're going to run into a little break a little coffee break, and then we're going to come back and have a little roundtable meet and greet each other, and then we're going to end. Welcome,
Okay.
Brianna from Costa Rica.
Hello, everyone.
How are you?
Well, as I described in my Facebook, my body is fighting a little something today, so I'll come on for a minute here, but do need to go lay back down very soon.
We
Thank
can
you
hear
so much.
you.
I'm so sorry you're going through something, but
Mhm.
we appreciate you for coming on, truly.
Mhm.
All right, just one quick question, then we'll let you go. So sorry to be.
Or observation, anyone. No pressure.
Can you guys hear each other? I can't hear anything all of a sudden.
I can hear you.
We can hear you, but I don't know what went wrong there. You, me. Can you hear us at all?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. What am I being brought up for? I didn't catch all of
Oh,
that.
Just anything that you may have picked up from her or observed from her presentation, or if you have a question for her.
anything. Or
I
you could
have to
just
be
smile.
honest
You
with
could
you.
just smile.
Yeah, I caught the very tail end of that. I
Yeah.
love what you were saying, Sienna, about just how we're showing up on our own social media channels for people right now. And I'm a huge proponent of when you don't have anything to give, you can't give from an empty cup. So, yeah,
Wow.
right on with that.
That was beautiful. That's great. You did it. You did it. You
Amazing,
hit.
Brianna. Thank you so much. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything else to add to that? So
I
sorry,
gotta
Sienna.
go.
She's gonna go.
I don't know
She
why I can't hear anything anymore. Everything is like silent, but I gotta run. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, you take care and thanks for coming on at such short notice. We truly enjoy your presentation and we want to have you back. All right. Thank you so much. And at this time, Ernie, did you have anything else to say before we go on a quick break?
I just think that this has been a powerful morning or afternoon, depending on where you are, and I am getting more than I thought I would have gotten, to be honest with
Me
you. And I'm
too.
being sincere. The thing is powerful, and even with the wellness stuff, breathing and so on, and how you can create the energy from within is amazing. And setting, you know, your intention and choosing your goal. That's amazing. We have to generate the energy that we need to make us go to where we need to get to. We can't depend on outside forces. We must do it ourselves and speak positive things to ourselves so
Absolutely.
that we can make it happen. Yeah.
Awesome. I want to add to that because when she first started and she said that there's so much talk about you at getting what you attract. I've always heard that and I've always
Mhm.
thought that that was true. But then she put a twist on it when she said that it's the energy that you give out and that was so powerful for me because I've always thought that what you want out of life is what you attract. So I really learned a lot from her presentation as well as Iffy's presentation. I made such great notes here from Iffy's presentation as well. And I'm so sorry that Dr. Floyd had to go. But we're going to try to get him on another day because we have 3 days of this. And this has been so powerful and amazing. Won't you say, guys, give us a thumbs up or love, some kind words in the chat? How about that? All right. So we're going to take a quick break. Ernie, did you have anything else?
No, I'm good. I am gonna go drink some water. How about that?
All
And
right. Okay. Well, I'm going to do this. I already have a cup of tea here.
there you go. I
And
know
I'm
you're a
going
tea
to
lady.
well, I'm in the right place for that too. So I'm going to give us a 5 minute break and then we're going to come back and we're just going to do a breakout and meet and greet each other VIP style. And then we're going to end the day and give the final words. All right. So be back in 5 minutes. Thank you guys.
Yeah, you need to mute your mic.
All right, so we are back, and I am just so elated and delighted that we had such an amazing session today, and I cannot wait for tomorrow. So now I'm going to put everybody into breakout. Just introduce yourselves, say what you do, take each other's information, and connect. This is a networking segment. All right, so let's go ahead and go into that breakout room for our section, for segment. All right, so let's go backstage to the table so we can do a little meet and greet, and then we can say goodbye for the rest of the day.
One moment, let me just.
Let's just go mute. All right, I just want to take this moment. We have come to the end of the very first day, and we had such an amazing time. I believe that everyone can agree with me on this. And I just want to say thank you guys for joining us. And I look forward to tomorrow's sessions and all the great speakers that we have lined up. And I tell you, we do have a lot of great speakers lined up, right? Tanika being one of them, and a few others. And I just want to say it was an amazing experience, out of body experience, if I may say. Ernie, you want to say anything before we end this?
No, well, I enjoyed it. Thank you so much for having me, and it's nice to meet new people. Tanika being one of them, and I think we're gonna see each other more often. All of the new friends will meet in some forums, I'm sure, because it's worth it. You all are great people. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. All right, so after the summit ends, it doesn't end. We're here to help to create visibility for each other, to build each other's businesses, and to support each other. So while we are in chat, I want to encourage us. We have a few house rules that we will and must maintain. Reach out to each other, private message each other, collect each other's information, and build our create a support chain for each other. And so at this time, I just want to say thank you for joining us, everyone who did, everyone who's here, everyone who's not here, who had to go and do what they had to do, all um, the bosses that we have. We know that you don't just sit around and twiddle your fingers. So thank you again. You didn't have to come, and because you took the time and the effort, we truly appreciate it. So it is good evening from London, from New Jersey, and Florida, and all over the world. We will see you tomorrow at our second day of Every Single Step Summit of 2022. Have a great evening.